Welcome to the Pharaoh's Realm podcast. I'm your host, Black Pharaoh. And on today's show, we have a young man that. So let me tell you how I came across his content. We're part of a service called Pipeline, and if you haven't heard of Pipeline, make sure you check him out. I talk about Pipeline a lot in my streams and the benefits of being a part of that group. But they have a scholarship program that they award to streamers to to build their brand, build their streams and things like that. And his submission was probably hands down the best that I've seen since they started the program. And I know he didn't win, and I was pulling for him. If I had a vote in the cause, I would have voted for him. But hands down, he had the best submission that I had ever seen for that program. And it made me think, I'm like, well, damn, when I'm ready to submit, I really got to take my submission to the next level. But, he's an awesome streamer on the rise, somebody that you definitely have to check out. Let me bring you guys in and introduce you guys to Trevoir TV. And again, thank you, for coming on. I truly appreciate it, man. Thank you, but like I said, man, your submission was, I didn't see Max's submission because they talked about it being that he rapped something, which I knew was his personality, but I didn't think there was anything that could beat you. I didn't think I'm just being 100. I didn't think there was anything that could beat, because you took it to another level that even when I saw the first set of submissions, nobody really did video the first set of submissions. But when I saw you, I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to do a whole production. I'm gonna have to go down to Clearwater Beach and shoot some people on the beach and doing something crazy to top that, because it was awesome, man. And I hope you definitely get it the next time around, because you definitely deserve it. Because like I said, you do put in a lot of work, and like I said, I appreciate when I watch your streams, I lurk on your streams, and like I said, everybody, we'll have his links down below. But I want to open up the podcast, like I do every time with every guest that I have. What was the first game that got you started in gaming? Not streaming, but actual gaming itself.
Yep, gaming itself. It was actually one of those Mario cartridges, like the Game Boy Pocket. And that was the very first one I played. I can't even remember the exact Super Mario name, but it was one of those old schools where it was black and white screen. You need to get your AAA batteries in the back of the Game Boy Pocket, and then it went off from there. The second game I got was Pokemon Silver, and from then it was it was a wrap. I was glued to that Game Boy Pocket. I was glued to playing those two games back to back. Unsave the files, rewrite the files, play the game again. So I would play that game probably over 1,000 times growing up. So it was pretty fun.
Wow. And you know what? A lot of these young kids today won't understand the struggle of those little small memory cards and how much they truly saved, and you couldn't have too much on them to have to. And like you said, for you to wipe it and then go back and beat it again, man, that's, whew, man. Like I said, that's some good memories. Yeah. So what are some of so as you progress from that, what are some of the other games and gaming systems that you've gotten into?
So since the Game Boy Pocket, we wrangled up a Nintendo 64. And funny thing is, I played a Nintendo 64 for a couple years. Then once the PS2 came out, the slim version, that's when my big sister got it for me, and I was super stoked. I never had a fancy console before, so when I got that first PS2 Slim, it was a wrap from there. We had Mortal Kombat. I remember my yellow game cartridge to where I can the memory card stick. You have to go to Kmart and get it in, So we had that to save the files, and then if you don't put that in there, your game files won't save. So the characters that you unlocked and all that good stuff wouldn't be on there. So it was pretty fun, man. So once you can tell I'm a PS4 guy, so a PlayStation guy, period. Yeah. So once we got the PS2 and the PS3, which she got me again. So big ups to Big Sis, So
big up to Big Sis, man.
You're hooking your boy up. So since then, I've been, not saying an avid gamer, but I've been pretty heavy into it, along with the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy SP and then the DS. So pretty much all of the Nintendo line I've been collecting, and then of course the PlayStation line as well. So it's been pretty fun.
Yeah. Like I said, shout out for, big sis she saw the vision. Sometimes somebody else will see the vision before you, and she saw the vision. So that it's good, man. I have a younger sister that she's one of the sponsors of the stream, but I definitely try to big her up because I see her, I see the vision, in her, and sis saw the vision in you.
Nice.
So when did you first start streaming? Like, were you always on? Did you start on Facebook gaming? Did you start where was your very first stream at?
So my very first stream was on Facebook. So before I started streaming, I was creating some YouTube videos with Pokemon. So before all of that, I was into Pokemon really, really heavy. I'm still into Pokemon really, really heavy, and
Right.
I've been part of like these Facebook groups where they were showing off their shiny Pokemon they were hunting and catching. So I was over there. Okay, I want to be a part of this too. So here's all my shinies. To the point where I was like, I'm tired of like just being a part of something. I want to like create my own thing. So that's when I got my my capture card. I had my laptop there for a while, so I decided, recording the battles, editing the clips, not even the clips, editing the whole videos, cutting it down,
Right.
and posting it on YouTube. Then one of my friends was like, "Yo, you can go live on Facebook." So I was like, "Okay, say no more." I got my little MacBook Pro in the back. Tried to go live on Facebook, couldn't do it. The MacBook couldn't handle it. And right after that, I went. It was July 6th of 2019 is when I went to Best Buy. I got my PC, and then I started streaming that same day. So I was like, it was a wrap on Wi-Fi. So hey, that was fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's like I said, that's cool, man. Like I said, I always like to hear everybody's first thought. So what was your feeling like? Like what? Like did you have butterflies in your stomach? Did you just because of YouTube, it just felt natural? Like what was that first feeling when you hit the live button and you were just out there to the world?
It was crazy. Even the YouTube videos, it was awkward. It was cringe. It was like, who am I talking to? Like it was like really, it was really a different experience. Me now and me back then. Totally different guy. When it comes to like, talking on camera, being able to converse to a chat, all that good stuff. Like the very first stream, it was awkward. I was like, we are live. We are live. Like, okay, dead silence, dead space, like don't know what's going on yet. Just trying to feel the air and like calm myself down. Usually when I do something new with the stream, I will get that same feeling back again, the little butterflies, the little because you don't want to mess up. Like you have high expectations and like you want to show them something that that you've been working hard with. So whenever like I do something different, I get that exact same feeling, which is like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and it's a natural feeling, even when I jumped into, I had done a podcast before, a sports one, and then when I jumped back into it a couple of months ago, I think my first one, but I brought on my friends for my first one, so it kind of made me at ease. And after that, so that's a natural feeling, man. So you're coming up on almost 2 years now.
Yeah, 2 years, July 6th. Yep, it's about to be crazy.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, this time it just goes by so fast. I started in September of 2018. I took a short break because I also coach basketball.
Oh, nice.
High school girls basketball. So I had to take a short break, and then when Mixer happened, when the Mixer shutdown happened, it just kind of like just re-energized me to start content creating again. And as I said in our pre-production meeting, as I've gone through it, it started feeling like a job. And it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, what else can I do? And then when I came up with the idea for the podcast back in January, and I was outlining, I was like, well, the best thing I can do is start giving flowers. I watched like Drink Champs and a lot of other podcasts. I'm like, well, what can I do to give back streamers their flowers? There's a lot of people whose content, because everybody goes to watch, Stone and Nick Mertz and Tim the Tap Man. Everybody runs to watch them, but there's so many other streamers out there that people should be made aware of. Let me just start this podcast and let me just bring people on and give them their flowers and celebrate them. And like I said, that's one of the reasons why I have you on here, and I'll say throughout this podcast, to celebrate, the good work, because people need to know about you and people need to know about your content, because you are putting out some good content. And your background, like I said, is amazing. So tell me, and shout out to Sam All-Star, because she mentioned when she was on, she mentioned your background and how you inspired her. And now and then I looked at my background, I'm like, I need them colors, man. I need them colors. So what kind of inspired you to put that background together like that? Because it's colorful, but it doesn't overpower you at the same time.
That's correct. So when it came to setting up the stream and making sure everything is squared away, the lighting was always my main focus, because doesn't matter what camera you got, if the lighting is really well on the subject, it's going to look pretty crispy. The background lights, I had to make sure that I adjust them to where they aren't overexposed, to where it's messing with the key light or messing with the camera exposure, to make everything truly blend. It took a lot of work. I changed the setup like about 5 times since I started streaming. It was on that side of the room, that side of the room, over here, over there. So just figuring out like how to use the space and create it to where everything just meshes. I think it took a lot of work, a lot of trial and errors. If you look back in parts of my stream, you'll be like, why that light look like that? Why is that there? I would have to go through everything to see, oh, I missed a spot. Oh. So over time, I see where gaps need to be filled, so everything is not too much, but it does enough grabbing. So yeah, it took a minute, a little bit of ingenuity, and we got it working. One thing I can do say, all of this is kind of inspired by Alpha Gaming, Harry Seller.
Okay.
When he first blew up that YouTube video, I was like right there with it. I was like, oh, this is literally the information I needed. And that's back when I first really started to like take it a little bit seriously when it comes to making sure the quality is what I wanted to be. And that was a big inspiration in the whole channel. So whenever a video would come up, or a tip or a trick, I will always be the one to like put in the extra work to make sure, everything is squared away.
Right. Nah, man, like I said, and those videos are, I always encourage people to watch, other streamers, watch tips, because not everything is meant for you, but there's always a small part in that message that's coming to you that is meant for you. And it could be a one-liner, it could be, like you said, one setup with something with your lighting that you just didn't see it. That it's like, okay, wow, I can make that change. So with that being said about your setup, what is so with everything you got going on there, and like I said, I love the look, man. What is your favorite device out of everything that you have in that room? Like, as for when it comes to streaming, what is that one device that you like? If I had to leave this space today, I'm taking this device with me to the next space.
It would have to be, man, it's a tie, man, but it would have to be the Go XLR. Just because I think audio is more important than the camera quality. If a stream sounds really well, it's more soothing to you versus what you can actually see. So you're watching the gameplay already, so having that audio to me takes it to the next level to make sure everything's nice and crisp. And a close second, very close second, maybe like a 0.5 is my Stream Deck, and that's the heart of everything. Even though you can hotkey on your keyboard, the Stream Deck makes everything flow so well, and you can do so much things with that. But I would have to say the Go XLR just because I can route all my audio. I don't have to go into OBS and toggle down or making sure everything is just right. And yeah, so it really makes the audio experience much better.
Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on that, because that's one of the things I tell people all the time that took my content to the next level. I have the MV7 mic by Shure. Hands down, the best $250 I think I spent in my life. Better than any sneakers, clothes, bag, anything that I've ever spent, because this, to your point, took my audio to another level. The second thing was the Rodecaster, but I see your point with the Go XLR. I only chose the Rodecaster because I do podcasts and I can take it on the road. If live stream, and I tell people all the time, if live streaming was my thing, I would go with the Go XLR. The Rodecaster Pro for me was just, just because of a different space that worked for me. But yeah, man, like I said, I tell people you can stream without being on camera, but your audio, everybody, I see people, should I buy this camera or this camera or this camera? I have a Sony A5100. That was the last thing that I purchased. I was running a C922, and I have a 920 that's behind me. Those were my two cameras for pretty much all of my stream. And I just got this A5100 probably about 2 months. Actually, my second or third podcast, by that time I switched to the A5100, but I made that last. But before I started the podcast, this mic right here was probably hands down the best investment that I made.
Exactly.
All right, so so now you know, again, you're coming up on your 2-year anniversary with streaming. What are some of the challenges that you've had, you know, and since overcome, you know, in your streaming journey?
I would say burnout. Sometimes you do too much too quick, or even while you're doing your regular stuff, you be so into the content, into the creation process, into just streaming and having fun. You do get burnt out, even though you're having fun, and that has been one of like the major things. I was hit the ground running. My brain moves so well when it comes to like ideas, but trying to keep up with it burns me out really quick. That's one thing I'm slowly learning. Well, quickly learning now since it's been on 2 years. Like, even though I know that I can burn out really quickly when it comes to planning events, making sure everything is squared away, doing this, doing that, I still find myself getting burnt out just because there are so many things I'm trying to do, but there's not enough time. So I've been slowly just taking a little break and like relaxing because there's no rush. Even though either it comes and you just want to see it, you know, see it happen, you gotta.
Yes.
I'm slowly training myself to like, you know, just woosah it out, just take it easy, plan, ain't going nowhere. Even though I have some goals to hit, I need to just relax for 1 second and make sure I'm enjoying the moment versus trying to like push a lot of things out at the same time. So that's what's for me personally.
Yeah, you know, and I tell people, you know, success doesn't happen overnight. You have to have a lot of patience, and you know, and like I said, when I see, you know, the pipeline, Discord and stuff like that, and everybody's asking these questions, and I just wanted, like, somebody just put a banner up that says slow your roll. It's not going to happen tomorrow. Like, you know, you're not going to, you know, unless you like, you know, you came from YouTube or you are a professional gamer where you had a following that you brought over to streaming. For the most part, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't happen overnight. And I, you know, and to your point, I tell people all the time, it's okay to take a break. Your fans will, your people will understand. You know, everybody talked about Ninja a couple of years ago. They said he lost a certain amount, 50,000 followers. It was some crazy number a couple of years ago because he didn't stream for 48 hours. I'm like, impossible. He doesn't lose that many people just from not streaming for 2 days. The man is entitled to a break. His viewership probably went down 10,000 views of his next stream, but it wasn't that he lost the people. People just thought, you know, oh, well, I'm not going to see him today. But that shouldn't be our mindset that we're going to lose people if we take a break. We have to take care of ourselves first. So with that being said, what has been some of the best advice that you've received, maybe from another streamer or somebody, you know, when it comes to this this content creation space? I got to get out of staying streaming. Content creation, because we are all content creators. We're not gamers. We're not streamers. We're content creators. And I had that on the shirt, so I got to stick that in my head. But what are some of the best advice that you've received, you know, as a content creator?
Yeah, so this might be a little, I guess, different, but it's not so much of advice, but something that lit a fire, you know, under me a little bit. When someone that I know, in IRL, in my personal, you know, real life, said that all I'm doing is turning on a camera and letting it fly. I was like, say no more. So I'm not going to say it's like more of an advice, but more of like, all right, okay, there's more to this. You might not, you know about it because you might be a little ignorant to it, but of course, I know what's going on with it. I'm going to make something happen.
Right.
So I might not be more to, I guess, to answer the question of where you're trying to head it there, but that's something for me that really stuck, you know? So coming from someone that you know that would say something, you know, like that, it'd be like, okay. I was like, okay, we'll see. So that has been one of my major motivators when it comes to creating content, streaming, and making sure that I don't be that person for someone else.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and sometimes, you know, with the negative comes a positive, you know, that it does happen, and we can turn it, you know, like you said, it's a challenge. It's like, okay, you going to challenge me? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show, like you said, you can use that. Some, you know what though, in the professional setting, and like I've used something similar, not maybe negative, but something to light a fire, like, you know, hey, you know, you didn't perform well today, man. What's going on? This isn't like you. And then it lights that fire. And so, you know, maybe the person delivering the message, I mean, it could have been bad intentions, or they could have just let me just find a way to, tell him I know he can be better than this. But to your point, a lot of people aren't good at giving feedback. They just, like I tell people all the time, you can get the Florida truth or you can get the New York truth. Now the Florida truth is gonna have some fluff to it. I can put some fluff to it. The New York truth is gonna be a little harsh, but in everybody that I've ever used that line with in a professional setting, now I want the New York truth, man. I want to know the real. But again, I some people just don't know how to deliver a message. But again, it's always good when you can take something like that and use that to light that fire. So that's still advice. That's still I still see it. I still see it the same way. So let me ask you, what is your guilty pleasure game that you may or may not stream, but it's a game that, it's not the regular game that I normally play, but I got to play this game at least a couple of times a week?
Man, I never thought I would say this, but it's Warzone, man. It's Warzone. Coming from, the Pokemaster, heavy in Pokemon, heavy in Smash, Nintendo games, all that good stuff. Yeah, Warzone is that game, man. Long nights, long mornings with the homies, on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that I'm saying that, but Warzone is a game, man. It's fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, they finally cleaned up some of the weapons where the balance is not. I actually like Rebirth a lot better than the regular Warzone. I just like the pace of Rebirth. You die, you get back in. You have so many opportunities to win. But like I said, my guilty pleasure game has actually been Fortnite, and I used to trash Fortnite. But it's fun. Like, I don't build. Like, I ain't got time for build. I was playing against some kid and he built some elaborate looking house. Like, when the hell did you have time to build that? And actually, my Fortnite trainer is an 8-year-old kid.
So
that's
there
my
you go.
Fortnite trainer.
Imagination,
Oh yeah, man. But yeah, I ain't got time to go. Yeah, but like I said, man, Warzone is definitely on. They're getting better. They're trying. What do you? Are you even interested in the new one that's coming out? Like, do you have it? Oh, actually, before we go there, have you ever even dabbled in Battlefield or anything like that?
Years ago, just a regular game.
Okay.
Story mode, nothing like online, player base, anything like that. So I'm interested to see how that game is going to come along. I know for sure.
Tomorrow's the reveal.
Yes, I know
tomorrow's
for sure
the reveal.
When it comes to maybe the movement or the mechanics, I might be like to it because I'm so used to the movement in Warzone. But any game is going to be something different to where you're getting to get used to. So I'll try it out. For sure, I will indeed try it out. But like you, I like Rebirth. It's fun. It's fast paced. You get to work on your movement and making sure like how when you get into those end game scenarios, you can like think outside the box versus a regular game mode to where sometimes you might not end up in that circle rotation to where you know how to push. So stuff like that I used to actually help to get better at the game.
All right. So when you're not streaming, who are some of the other content creators that you actually you enjoy and you sit back and you say you get that little notification pop up that says they're online? Who are some of the other content creators you enjoy watching and supporting?
I would say not so much streamers, but of course content creators as a whole. Of course, Harris Heller is one of them. Alpha Gaming.
Yeah.
I'll watch Your Average Consumer. His videos are really nice, very common. Get you up to date with the technology. Activator, he's a really good content creator as well when it comes to albeit tips, tricks. I think it's Gamer's Career as well as Epos Vox. Even though, as you can see, like everything that I watch off stream is like educational. And when it comes to just regular streaming now, I would just watch like really dope Warzone streamers. It doesn't matter who they are, just to get a little feel on how they would move, rotate, what their game sense might be, little tips and tricks for loadout, stuff like that. So not more of a I'm gonna sit there and watch you wipe the scene by yourself. More like, okay, I'm seeing what you're doing. I'm liking, lurking. I'm making sure I'm giving you my interaction. But of course, like really, truly sitting down there and watching would be all those content creators, well, YouTubers. Yeah.
Right. No, like I said, Alpha Gaming, Harris Heller, somebody that I watch a lot. He gives a lot of good tips, and I know he just moved, so I'm waiting to see what his new studio like. I'm really excited to see what his new setup is going to look like once he's fully moved in and once he's settled and everything is built. 'Cause I know Sam just moved. I think he's from Australia or something like
I think
that.
in the UK, yeah.
Or is it the UK? I thought okay. I know he's from overseas. I think he just moved to the US. So I can't wait to see, what that whole thing looks like.
Yeah, it's gonna be really great. Because one thing I took from Harris, he never got complacent. Everything that he did was always to get outside his comfort zone and try something else, and everything flowed together with purpose, not just streaming for streaming or making a video for video's sake. Everything had a beginning, middle, and end, and that's one thing I'm trying to like emulate in a sense to make sure I'm just not streaming to streaming, or even if I'm just streaming to streaming, I have an idea for something in the future that I'm gonna do better or utilize this for that or something to where nothing's going to waste.
Right. And it's also funny that you mentioned Activator because I can see you adding that slide. That sliding camera would be super dope in your stream, man. That would be super dope. I saw somebody else just added it, and I was just like,
"Listen, I'm gonna tell you about that. I had so many things, right? I could have done like this. Remember, I tell you, I had so many tests to slow it down.
Yeah,
it had a lot of things that you're seeing now that I would have been done, but I was like, you know what? It's going to happen. It's content creation. The same thing with Activator. That was his thing. That was his his niche. Dr. Looper got it from him. So other content creators like myself would have got it from him eventually. So there's no rush, Viewers wouldn't know any better because they're viewers. They'll see like, oh my God, that's changing game. That's new. That's it. But when you're a content creator, you see it all. So it's like, it's who implements it for their community. And that sliding camera, all that is next top level production. And remember, Activator, he's in film, so that's part of his niche too. So that's where it came from. So all that good stuff is, I'm not gonna say coming soon, but is in the back of my head. And a lot more things to that I haven't yet figured out how to utilize in this stream. So
right. No, like I said, it's good to see other people do things, and like you said, everything may not be meant for you, but there's always, like I said, because I've seen your camera at different angles, and I was like, yeah. And like I said, when you said Activate, I was like, oh my God, he get that sliding camera. Oh man, that's gonna be a whole nother level, man.
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you about your, how's your. I've had a positive experience with Pipeline. I haven't heard anybody that's had a negative experience with Pipeline. But how have they helped you with your content creation?
Yeah, so when it comes to content creation within Pipeline, even though I started, I guess, a little bit later within Pipeline, September of last year, so some of the things that were in, the playbook and all that good stuff, I already encountered and stumbled over. So seeing everything else, I was like, oh, good to know. Good to know. I'll take that. Writing this down. Oh, LLC business. Thank you. So I took bits and pieces from all of the tools that they had, for us, and I acted on them. When it comes to Pipeline, it's not a blow up quick type of thing. It's for self improvement.
Right.
You get in what you put in, and even if you give it 100%, there's no guarantee. That's like anything with life. So, for those who are in Pipeline, like myself, learn as much as you can, use the resources, use the tools, and for me, it was all good. I've seen some utilize it for networking. I've seen some utilize it just for knowledge base. Some who don't even stream just want to be a part of another community to use one of their channels in Discord. So for me, so far, it's been pretty nice. It's been pretty chill. I met some amazing content creators. And along the way, of course, I'm hoping to utilize more of the functions and features that I have available because there's a lot.
Yeah, and there's a couple of streamers that I even stream with that I met through Pipeline, and like I said, I tell everybody all the time, the finding, and like I said in the pre-production meeting, finding your niche thing was big for me because I just did, I didn't want to be that Warzone. Everybody streams Warzone. Everybody, like there's thousands, tens of thousands of Warzone streamers out there, and it's one of the games I enjoy playing. But I was like, well, what's my lane? What's my niche? Like what, And then, like I said, when I said podcast, and I'm like, now I see a couple other streamers jumping into podcasting, but they don't realize it's a lot of work, man. It's definitely a lot of work. I do my own editing and video and audio editing. So it's definitely a lot of work, but that was probably one of the biggest, like I told you, one of the biggest takeaways for me was finding my niche. And then I knew I had fun doing podcasting. It's once a week. It's not chasing a job. I ain't chasing 10 million, followers. I'm just, if you enjoy the podcast, come check it out. Drop a follow.
Exactly.
If I get 50 listens on the audio channel and 50 views on my video channel, that's 100 people that checked out my content, and that's how I look at that, as a win. So, and like I said, the networking, like I said, very, 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 very key.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are there any? So, if you had that magic button to say, this is one thing I want to add to streaming, or I gotta get out of that word. If there was one thing you had that magic button you want to add to content creation, like to take it to another level, just for everybody in general, what would be one thing you'd like to see added into the content creation space that maybe is in the pipeline somewhere from somebody, or just something from the top of your head that I'd like to see this come, implemented?
Let's see here. So I would say more, I guess, IRL events, more real-world events. Even though right now the world is pretty crazy right now,
Right.
utilizing each platform to, let's say, push towards a convention type event. I know they have those like with esports where they have the regular competitions, but more towards a gaming aspect. You have a mixture of streamers over here streaming a particular game. You have a community over here cosplaying. Just bring that and combine that with the world of just regular anime conventions and what we have you to just make sure both worlds are combined. Because I know some people might not play video games as avid as most, but they like to cosplay and do a lot of other things. So bringing that back to the forefront eventually when the world opens up will be like exciting to see. I know like in the Smash World they have those online tournaments that are also local, that's also streamed. But I want that on a bigger scale when it comes to regular content creators versus big mainstream names.
Right. Yeah, Mixer used to do an God, I don't know why the name of the event is escaping me right now, but Mixer used to do a big PAX. They used to do event. They used to have PAX East, PAX South, and PAX West. But that was again primarily Mixer streamers. I don't know if Facebook or Twitch. No, they have TwitchCon. I don't know if Facebook has anything like that.
I
But
think
to your
Facebook
point, yeah, I mean,
had one a couple years back, but that was before I even started streaming. But I heard about Facebook had their own like special events as well. So
I mean, and we need that kind of camaraderie where you like you said, you can run into some of your favorite streamers. I know E3 would have been somewhere either this week or next week. I think it's still virtual, but I know I was supposed to go last year, and then of course I was all planned, all ready to go,
And then
go out to LA, out to the Staples Center, and enjoy it. And COVID was like, pause. Like, no, that's not happening this year. So
that messed up.
that's what I'm looking forward. That's what I'm looking forward to going to E3, man. I watch that thing all the time, and I'm like, I just want to, even if I don't meet other content creators, but just to be in that, to soak in all that energy, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I guess pretty much I just want a hybrid of everything. The esports lane, the anime convention feel, as well as this regular, just regular gamers just chilling in and just having fun. So maybe it is one of those big events, but I want it to be more
Bigger.
bigger in the sense that there's more of it,
Right.
but grassroots type style. We don't need
Gotcha.
100,000 or 1,000 people there. Just more like those regular mom and pop shops. This is something that's just regular. I'm going down to the little convention here every Saturday. It's like a nice little melting pot of those events, but it's a little bit smaller.
Yeah. It makes it more intimate when like you said, it's not 100,000 people there. There's like 1,000 or less. You may not get to mingle with everybody, but it's still small enough that you can network and make friends and get into some good competition.
Yeah.
So that kind of reminds me back in New York when they used to have the little blockbuster gaming competitions and stuff like that. They used to have used to be able to play on the game in the Blockbuster, and they have competitions, and, with certain games and stuff like that.
Nice.
So they never did one for Double Dribble. That was my favorite game on Nintendo, Double Dribble.
Man,
I've never lost in that game.
I remember
probably the only game I've never lost in.
Good times, man. Good times.
Yes, sir. All right, this next segment is brought to you by Diamond the Doula. If you're, as I've always stated on this podcast, I've been dealing with a bad back for the last couple of months. She sent me some oil, and before every podcast, before every stream, I put a little bit of oil on my back to help. It's been a huge help. She deals in natural healing. She doesn't deal in CBD, natural healing. So again, if you're in pain, or actually underneath this hat, I got some hair thinning going on. That I, seeing Floyd Mayweather, the other day with a head. Well, he had a head full of hair till he cut it down. Jay-Z got a mop on his head. Even Nas got a rug on his head. I need to figure out what's going on because I need something. But again, check out diamondanddoula.com, for your natural holistic needs. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, kind of rapid fire style. There's no right or wrong answer. Just whatever comes, whatever comes to your mind. Like I said, I'm going to kind of bounce around, and I'm going to try to stump you with a few things. So.
Okay.
All right. So, would you do the Game Boy or the regular Nintendo system? You had to choose one.
Man, I would say like the current Nintendo system, or
no, and just overall, you can answer it any way you want, man. Any way it comes to your mind. It could be any way.
I don't know, man. The Game Boy's a classic. But I'm gonna say the Nintendo systems, man. I gotta go with that.
Okay.
Is there?
Yeah, like I said, no right or wrong answer. Pikachu or Mario?
You putting me in a spot, man, because I'm a Pokemon guy. That's my thing. But
this is part of this. This is why I do this,
man. I'm tired of seeing Pikachu all over the place. There's more than one Pokemon around here, man. Pikachu, you kind of played out, fam. So I would be spiteful and say Mario, but I'm gonna still go with Pikachu. But just know that you know what I mean. I need a different face to the daggone franchise. I need something else.
Nah, I got you. Yeah, well, I mean, Pikachu's popular because of the cartoon that was out. He was the main Pokemon character, so he's probably the one I know the most. I couldn't even remember, and they say playing them Pokemon cards with my son, and I was like, he was just slapping cards. Like and I'm just gonna verify for 1 second. We were, he was teaching me how to play. He just kept slapping cards down, matched up. I'm like, I only play like 2 cards. Like I'm thinking it's like a regular card game. And I was just like, man, no, okay, yeah, I can't get into this.
Hardcore.
Would you rather have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube or 100,000 followers on Facebook gaming?
That's a good one. No lie, I would stick with the YouTube.
So why do you? I'm just curious. Why do you?
Because when it comes to Facebook gaming, or Facebook as a whole, it's still brand new. So the reach out there is still scattered. You're not knowing what you get in with Facebook because you have live videos, you have gaming, you have so many things that's happening on Facebook, YouTube. You know your target audience. They want to watch your videos.
Right.
So if you have 100K subscribers, once you post a video, you're gonna get those views. On Facebook, depending on what you're doing and what niche or what lane you are in, it can still be scattered since the platform is so brand new. So you can be one of those public figures and artists that just posted a nice little music video they shot, or a gaming creator posted a live video. You might not get that same, cross-pollination from that particular community because it's so diverse on Facebook. So I will go with the YouTube. I got my 100K. I got my ads. I got my stuff going. Everything's solidified, and I can build up Facebook from the ground up and cross-pollinate from YouTube. Who knows?
Yeah. No. Like I said, I've gotten different answers on that, so that's good. Like I said, I enjoy. Your perspective was very good. I thought of it that way, but you took it. You taking it to another level. Okay. though I know that you're, from watching your streams, I know that your wife is from New York, right? If there was one plane that's leaving where I'm not gonna say where you live, but there's one plane that's leaving where you live right now, and you can fly to New York, or you can fly to the Virgin Islands. Which way? Yeah, that's right. I know she's gonna be listening, so answer carefully. And I throw these in, like I said, on purpose, just to kind of, get a good laugh. But which way you flying?
Yeah, you brutal, bro. But I got it. So we were going to New York because she's been back home with me. So we already, got that out of the way. So we'll go ahead and experience New York and all the pollution together. You know what I mean?
I'm from New York, and I know I understand the difference only because I've been to the Bahamas, and the water was amazing out there. Like the water, like I looked down. I went at least waist high into the water and looked down and still saw my feet. You can't do that in any beach in New York City. So I don't take the pollution jab personally, because I know New York is this busy. When you compare it to the islands, there's just no comparison. If I wasn't afraid of hurricanes, I wouldn't mind settling.
Yeah,
there, but
I feel you.
Even though I'm in Florida, technically in Hurricane Alley, we've been blessed. Knock on wood. Tampa's been blessed. We haven't been hit. We're getting a lot of rain lately, but we haven't been hit since I've been here. So, all right. Couple of music questions. I may come up with another one.
Okay.
Drake or Jay-Z?
I would say Drake.
Drake.
Straight up Drake. Yeah. I like Jay-Z, but I will more listen to, like, you know what? Oh, Drake on? Okay, I'm gonna listen to that. Versus if Jay-Z pops on Pandora or Spotify, I'm gonna next. So
no.
Yes, sir.
Understood. Nicki or Cardi B?
I would say Nicki. 100% Nicki. Cardi B, she nice, yeah, but when Nicki dropped Monster and all those others before, it was like constant bangers, and it's more nostalgic now. So you can't beat nostalgia,
Gotcha. All right, and for the last one, since you're kind of new to Warzone, I want to throw this one out here. Would you rather have a 20 kill match or a 5 kill win?
Yeah. Man, you on it today, huh?
Yeah, man. You giving me some good content to think about.
I'm still in the realm of finding my play style.
Right.
Yes, I want the wins, but I want to be able to win more than just my ones. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can get the 20 and the dub, then I'll take that. But to me right now, the dub isn't important, but I want to make sure I'm able to secure the dub if I need to clutch it up. So
gotcha.
I might go towards the 20 bomb right now, and then I can focus on, because listen, if I can get those 20 kills, I mean my movement gotta be impeccable. My game sense gotta be on point. A dub can happen, during all that shenanigans, versus I'm over here camping and bing, I'm gonna be bored if I play it slow like that. But hey, I'm still trying to figure out my current play style. I want to be right in between there,
Okay. No. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer, man. Most of the people that play Warzone, I get them with that question, because it's like, damn, do I want to win or do I want the content? So no, like I said, no right or wrong answer.
Yes, sir.
So what is something that your streaming community may, and I know you're pretty open with them, but what is one thing that they may not know about you?
Shoots. As I said, I'm pretty open. I don't think there's much that they don't know that's not too personal. Yeah, they pretty know. I was in the Army, and I was airborne paratrooper for quite some time. I jump out of the planes, for no reason, right? They know that I'm from the Virgin Islands. So pretty much like everything that's not too personal, they know already. Maybe, actually, I'm also a dancer, so my whole background as well is choreographer,
Okay.
teacher, all that good stuff. So I might not talk about it as often as I did everything else, but I mentioned it a couple of times. So still, majority might not know that. Of course, as a professional dancer, back home in the Virgin Islands,
that's cool. Okay.
choreographer, all that good
See?
stuff. Came up here and got heavy into competition when it comes to dancing because I'm a b-boy as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think they know about that in depth, but hey,
That's good. Because the last interview I saw with you and Stone, I didn't know you was in the service. And then when somebody said thank you for your service, and I want to ask you briefly about that in a second. But the dancing thing is cool, man. I didn't. Because if you go back to New York, my son dances at a studio in Harlem called Brick House. He's one of the instructors there. So
nice.
His name, he dances under Hodgepodge. That's his name. But yeah, that's just like I said, man. I would have never guessed choreography. I always learn, and I love that question because I always learn something new about the person that I'm interviewing. And like I said, I learned the Army thing, but the dancing, wow, man. And then you said B-boy. I'm like, oh, man.
Yes, sir.
He out there busting out the windmills and all that other stuff. And
musicality is a must.
So your Army experience, just briefly touch up on that. So what? Because I'm tall. I'm 6'1", and I'm terribly afraid of heights. Always been all my life. So I couldn't even imagine jumping out of a plane. But just take us briefly through that experience, like the adrenaline. Like, do you get an adrenaline rush? Like, what does it feel like when you're? And like you said, for no reason. Thankfully, you haven't. I guess the time you weren't at. In any of the wars, or anything. Did you serve? Okay, so you dismissed. Again, applause to everybody out there that's serving in these wars. But I always say, the guys that didn't get it, didn't have to do that. Thank God that you avoided that, because I just heard so many stories about that. But tell me about that experience of jumping out of that plane. Like, what does it feel like?
Man, that's a whole different thing, man. Like when I was in airborne training. And we had to finally jump after we were going through the entire course, learning how to do the correct preparations, the techniques. And for some reason, I was the first jumper of my class. So, I'm in front of the door. I'm getting some cold breeze that's hitting me. I can't hold on to the sides of the doors because I have to hold put my hand on my chute, have my sight line in hand. Just make sure I don't fall out accidentally. So I'm that first jumper there, looking outside, looking at the ground, looking outside, feeling all that cold breeze on me, and it's like you're shaking, your legs are getting weak, and it's like, yup, hey, if you don't get this right, it can be bad. So tuck it up, get it together, and my thought jumping out was, listen, screw it. Whatever happens, happens. I gotta go, because if you don't jump, you will never jump. You're gonna always be like, oh. So once you get that first jump out of your system, the next one, slightly easier, but you just get used to the process. You trust your equipment, trust your technique, trust your training, and it was all Gucci. But that first jump was, it was something else.
No, that's pretty good, man. That's like I said. When I was living in Atlanta, they built one of those Sky Zone things where you can simulate that, and people were trying to give me. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like even though I enjoy the window seat on the airplane, I look down and enjoy it, but I couldn't even imagine. So again, thank you for your service. Thank you that you avoided the war, and again, shout out and peace and blessings to those who have served, in this current war. But like I said, thank you. I want to definitely say thank you for your service.
Appreciate you, man.
So what has been your greatest achievement so far in your content creation journey? Like, what is the one or two, three things that you're most proud of?
Growth when it comes to learning new things. If I can't figure it out, I would continue to try to figure out what's going on, to learn something different, getting outside my comfort zone. In regards to like running tournaments, learning how to do that all by yourself, pretty cool. community events, how to run those differently from everyone else. Making sure that the software and everything I'm using, I know it like the back of my hand. I spend time and I go through everything. So if something happens on stream, I know exactly how to troubleshoot it versus, I don't know chat, so I don't want my chat to feel anxious because they're seeing me react anxious and unsure. So I don't want to give that energy off while I'm trying to, troubleshoot something. So and that is also, it comes with time. So learning how to hide when I'm fixing something versus totally, crumbling under pressure, especially during the tournament, is one of the things that I think I feel really, really good about.
Yeah, and it goes back to what we discussed earlier. Just having patience, taking the time to understand your equipment, its strengths, its weaknesses, and what it can do. So again, when you have those moments, you're not panicking and oh my God, and then people in the stream like, what's going on? Or to your point, chat, what do I do with this? And like me, if something like yesterday, I was trying to do something and my camera wasn't working. And I just stopped. I said, you know what? I just went without the camera. It was still good content. And then when I got off, I went back and I just looked, and it was
the smallest thing, right?
So my A5100, it kept locking and freezing in the software. And I use OBS and I use XSplit. It just depends on during the week which one is going to work, which one is saying, me this week. But it kept freezing, and all I had to do was go. So I took the source out of all my XSplit settings, but I didn't do it in OBS. I went into OBS, took all the settings out so it resets. As soon as I put it back in, it started working. But I didn't realize I had to take it out of both because it works in this software that I'm using for the podcast, but it wasn't working in the content creation space. I'm like, well, what is going on? And something so simple as just resetting the source.
Yep.
Fixed everything.
Is always that one little thing like, because you think it's something worse than what it actually is. So, is there?
So when it's all said and done, so the typical career for any job is typically 30 years. So we're gonna go 30 years it's 2051, and you've just spent 32 years making content. And when I say content, streaming, because you've been doing YouTube probably a little longer. But at this point, you've been content creating 32 years on Facebook gaming. You're on the PS 20 by that time, or whatever it is. What is the one thing you want to be most remembered for?
Innovation and community. When it comes to playing these games, I started streaming because I literally wanted a community. It sounds cliche. Most people just say it just because that's the thing to say. But literally, I started streaming because I wanted a community that would play games with me, enjoy the same thing, crack some jokes, and just build together, whether it's in video games, life, or just conversation. That's one thing I stress a lot on when it comes to community, because it is a reflection of you.
Yes.
If you have a toxic community, a lot about you. If you don't check your community, it says a lot about you. So that's one thing I think that I would like to be known for, just being innovative, trying different things, as well as just being really strong into community.
Right. No, that's good, man. I always love it when people put their community first. And like I said, for everybody listening and watching the podcast, we'll have all his links. Definitely check out his content. And sorry, there's a thunderstorm that's about to roll through here any minute now. Yeah, that's that. And I was surprised. I'm like, this mic does pick up a lot of good stuff sometimes. So, but tell everybody when your tip. Even though you may do some bonus content creation here and there, but what is the times they typically can find you online, doing your content creation?
Of course. So you can find me anytime on Facebook Gaming at 5:30 between Tuesday and Saturday every week. So that's a solid schedule right there. So if you just want to stop in and say hi, what's up? I heard about you from Black Pharoah. Feel free to go ahead and do so.
Yeah.
But of course, that's pretty much my schedules. Yes, sir.
Okay. Like I said, man, I thank you very much for coming on. Definitely learned a lot, and like I said, I wanted to make this about you, and I don't have nobody asking no questions, and I know that's a jab at. We know who that jab is at, but I wanted to make this about you and a celebration about you because you put out a lot of great content, and it's fun and it's refreshing and it's different. You know, it's not the same thing over and over and over again. So, like I said, I appreciate you coming on. You have any parting words for the viewers watching and listening to the podcast?
Man, if you're a content creator or just like watching content, just remember create the content that you would like to watch. So if you're a content creator out there, just make sure you put out what you would like to even watch and consume. So just keep that in mind when you're out there doing your thing.
Hey man, the man just gave you $1,000 worth of game throughout this whole stream, man. Again, if you're listening, watching, make sure you check him out. We'll have the links below. Like I said, it's been a pleasure, man. And as we always end the podcast, you could have spent your time doing anything in the world, but you spend it with me. Yo, big up Brooklyn. Yo, big up to Harlem, where his wife is from. Shout out Harlem. Yo, Pharoah out. Peace.
Take it easy.